Hey, welcome back. Have I got a treat for you? Tonight's going to be amazing. You're going to love this guy. If you're a wrestling fan, you're going to love him. You know why? Because we are going to have a romping and stomping good time. Do you know who it is? Stay tuned. We're going to have some fun. Hi, I'm Honey Gregory, and welcome to my channel. And today I'm doing double duty with Honey Goes to the Movies and Perpetual Learning because I have an amazing guest today. And I gave you a hint earlier, but he's so cool. I've known him for a very long time, and we'll get into that. But we're going to have us a romping and stomping time because we are here with HOSS
Now that's an introduction. You must be a professional.
Oh, no, I did a little bit of acting, tiny bit. And so did you. So
Sometimes.
you. All right. So, Donnie, I had to start with this, okay? All right,
Okay.
now, I don't call you Hoss. I'm sorry.
I
go way back. Right?
I know. Few folks can do that. We're good.
All right. But I still love you, even though you got your new name, right? But
Right.
I had to pull up some stuff here because it was just killing me. I'm going to pull it up here. Who is that?
Oh, my goodness. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Who's that?
I think that was, isn't it funny? I used to feather our hair.
I showed my daughter the other day, and she goes, "Why is your hair so fluffy?"
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's low dryers.
Oh, it was the best. Well, Aquanet. It was for us girls. Aquanet. Oh, I mean, my gosh, a couple cans a week. I mean, you guys didn't have to worry about that. Okay, so who's this hottie? All right, we gotta see who this hottie is. Wait, where is it? Oh, I can't see.
Which one?
Oh, it's there. I'm going the wrong way.
I'm looking.
There we are.
I have not. You'll have to take a picture of that and send it to me. I haven't seen that in years. I forgot they even existed.
Hey, it's in the clan book.
Oh, well, I have to invest in one, I guess.
You didn't buy one.
I can't remember.
Okay,
that was the 70s. How do we remember anything from the 70s?
Oh, yeah. Well, don't even get me started on that one.
Right.
So you and I went to high school together, obviously.
We did.
Oh, isn't that fun? So much fun. So cool. And, after we graduated, everybody goes their separate ways, and we don't get back together for like 10 years, and only a 10th of us show up at the reunions.
Right.
I don't know your story from graduation till just a few years back when you kind of, started, like I started running into you again at the reunions and stuff. So what the heck have you been doing? I mean, I just remember this haughty little cowboy who used to roam around in the parking lot. I used to think was cute. Oh, I have to ask, did we ever have a makeout session or a date?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think you told me no.
I did?
Yeah. You said, no, I can't do that. I don't remember the reason though, but you must have had a boyfriend or something.
Were you dating somebody?
Yeah, I was. Me and Carrie dated a lot through high school.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I saw a picture of Monty Butcher the other day, and I about fell out of my chair. I was like, oh my God, I would not have recognized him on the street.
A lot of folks don't recognize anymore.
I know. But I recognize that face. I recognize that face. You still look just as cute as you used to. Oh, all right. So tell me what you've been doing.
Well, how far back do I go?
Well, I don't know, because now you're doing this wrestling, and my God, you started at 59. Who does that?
57.
57?
So let me tell you. So
okay,
I got married, and we moved to a little town called Maypearl, Texas, just south of Fort Worth.
Okay.
School, and we worked down there and stuff. And a lot of folks don't know I was such a professional wrestling fan. All through high school, middle school, I've always loved professional wrestling. It's just been my thing, and I've loved it. And so in 1988, I quit a job. I wasn't making any money, and we were struggling financially, and just had our third kid.
Oh my goodness.
The little boy, Boone, and which he's 36 now. So.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I know, right? So
they're so old compared to when we used to have so much fun.
Right. professional wrestling, it's an industry. Back then, it's so much different now, but back then you really had to know somebody to get into the business.
Yeah.
And because they didn't have the schools and stuff. Well, one day I was sitting there and we're watching TV, and all of a sudden at the Sportatorium in Dallas, Chris Adams, who was a big star back then in wrestling with
Yep.
Von Erichs and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember them, the Von Erichs.
And I'll tell you a story about that here in a little bit. So
All right. Me too.
so when we went to the TV came on, and an advertisement came. It was Chris Adams. Have you ever thought of having a dream about being a professional wrestler? Well, yada yada. This is your chance right now. Man, I got in the old purple truck and I was gone to Dallas, and I was at the Sportatorium in 10 minutes from me.
Oh my gosh.
I was excited. This is it. This is my chance. And it was funny because I just left a job. I wasn't making any money there. I was really cutting firewood and hauling hay.
Wow.
And
but Texans are like that. We do what we do what we have to do.
We were struggling. So I decided to, I went down there, I met him, got the tour, said, yeah, he goes, there's going to be $1,500. And I went, what? $1,500? And I said, man, I can't even make $100 house payment right now. And he goes, I said, you sure you can't let me give you this $1,500 when you make me a star? And he goes, nope, it don't work that way. And so I left that day, and man, I was devastated. I said, man, there it is. That was my shot. I'll never get another look at it again. Aww. And man, I was down.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure.
But it really worked out well, is because 2 months later, I got a call from a company in Fort Worth and they were a new company and starting to environmental emergency response, so like train wrecks and truck wrecks. And it was life-changing. It was, because I got hired on there, and I've been in that industry my whole life. Even today, where I've built companies, and I had my own company. I built my own company in San Antonio for years of the environmental stuff.
Wow.
But after that day, I didn't watch wrestling anymore. I just didn't be around it. Now, over the years, when the WWF and now the WWE got popular, and the kids growing up, they liked it and stuff. And I took them to a few shows, but I could care less. Well, you fast forward it to 2005, a guy, like one of the kids, he says, hey, Dad, there's a wrestling show in town. And I said, huh? WWE or what? I said, and he goes, no, there's a local wrestling show. And I said, local, huh? He goes, please, 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 please. So I took him. So I get up there, and it was a good show, but it was only about 18 people in the audience. Wow. And it was trash bags for a stage, and it was horrible, and I said, oh, and the music wasn't good, to come out.
There you go, a little George Thorberg.
That's Muddy Waters.
Oh, it was Muddy Waters?
Muddy Waters, yeah, old school.
Yeah, so, that's me. Well, we're old. We like that old stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to the show, and I said, man, where's all the people at, man? What happened to wrestling? Because I woke up in a time capsule, and I didn't know. So then I started looking around. I started seeing a few shows and all this stuff going. So I started going to them, and all of them, they were crud. I mean, it was like there was no professional. It drove me nuts. I said, you know what? I am going to start a wrestling company. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, I had the money, but it was a mission more of, I want to bring professionalism back to this. So we invested almost $60,000 into lights, into lasers, sound system, everything we needed.
Wow.
I surrounded myself with some wrestling people that I met, and man, we ran for 5 years.
Wow.
And we were the best company in Texas at the time. My health got so bad. I was, just going around the clock, working.
Run yourself down. Mm-hmm.
I hit that wall, and so we shut her down, and I turned 57, and I said, you know what, if I'm ever going to, and you got to understand, I'm not proud of this, but I really let myself go. I got almost at 360 pounds, and I couldn't run 8 feet.
Oh, bless your heart. Oh,
yeah.
Goodness.
So I said, if I'm ever going to do something, with my life, now's my shot. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, so I called. I knew so many people in wrestling by now because I
Yeah.
was a very respected promoter in the
Mm-hmm.
business. And I called a guy that had a wrestling school, and I said, "Hey, man, that's what I'm thinking about." And he goes, "Well, you're crazy, but if you want to, I will teach you, but you're going to have to get in shape." So I started going to the gym, started working out, started getting cardio up, and then I got accepted to the academy, and I trained for 2 years,
Oh, wow.
from 57 till I was 59. And
So it's not as easy as
I had my
people
first
think, right?
match. Huh?
It's not as easy as people think to get into this
It's not.
business.
Well, the school was very tough. I was very tough on myself. No, this has been going into the ring. It's probably been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
It's hard. It's I compete with so many young kids. I mean, I wrestled this past weekend
Ooh,
in a gauntlet match, and the kid that jumped me, he had to been 22, 23. So there's
goodness.
nobody my age doing this where I
No.
do it.
You
So
got to have a few aches and pains and surgeries or something out of all
I
that.
do. I'm going, I do got 3 ruptured discs in my neck, and I've got a tear in my shoulder. I go to the doctor Friday for my neck, and hopefully we'll get an injection or two to get me through, but we'll see.
Oh, goodness
It's pretty
gracious.
beat up, and I've already been getting injections in my shoulder for 2 years,
Oh my
and
gosh. I need to hook you up with my Young Living stuff because that stuff's amazing.
I got to
I'll
do
tell you about it.
something.
I'll
I
tell you
got to
about it.
do.
We'll talk later
Huh?
then. We'll talk about it later.
Cool. Yeah. So anyway, so I went to the school, and then this whole thing, the house holding thing, just kind of took off. The buttermilk thing, and it's like I say, I turned 62 in January, and man, I've got a full schedule of wrestling this year.
That's crazy.
I'll be going everywhere. I'll be from Las Vegas to Indiana
Oh, well, let me know when you're in
to
Indiana.
huh?
Let me know when you're in Indiana. We'll come see
I'm
you.
doing a Georgia, because then I go to Georgia, and there a guys called me about doing a East Coast tour this
Wow.
summer. So yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's some days, I can't. I know I leave to Arkansas after I go to the doctor, my specialist Friday, and then I go to Arkansas and I wrestle Saturday, and a lot of times I don't like to wrestle back to back to back, and sometimes I do because it's you feel it at 62. It's very, I always laugh. People say wrestling's fake and yada yada yada,
Yeah.
and it's. I promise you this, and anybody that's listening,
Mm-hmm.
you put your body through a lot of physical
Yes.
hits.
You
I
can
promise
tell.
you. I hit. My hits are real. I have a rule in wrestling to the guys I talk to
Mm-hmm.
before I go. And usually the last thing I say to them, and before we go to the ring, I'm going to hit you very hard. I expect you to hit me back,
Oh,
and that's it.
yeah, there
And
you go. Well,
so
do you know promoter, it's been years ago since he was in the wrestling area. I had him on my podcast not long ago. He's a friend of mine also. Bronson Culver out of like Arkansas, Tennessee area.
I
Bronson
don't know.
Culver. He was a promoter and a wrestler too. I didn't know if you knew him or not.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
Okay.
there's a lot
Oh,
of
I'm
folks
sure.
out there,
I'm sure.
but
So,
yeah, but it's been it's in February. I've got I'm wrestling a lot in the Metroplex area up there, and usually a lot of the guys will come out from the old school and see me, and stuff. And
aw.
it always means a lot to me when they come out. So I like wrestling up there, and but yeah, it's definitely a crazy journey. I'm very blessed.
I I
I
couldn't
think
believe it when I heard it. I was
I think I
like,
was blessed, like I say, because too many people don't start in ring at 58
yeah.
years old.
Well,
And
too
the
many
first
people give up on their dream, and you had this dream for a very long time, and you
and
went ahead
that's
and went for it. That's
I
amazing.
did. Well, it's been a dream my whole life, and we only got a shot at one life. And
Yep.
part of my story, and I guess people pull what they want to out of the story. And I know a lot of the folks that tell me, and I really like it because it really was one of the reasons. As a male, as a man, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we devote ourselves to our families, our kids, our wives,
Mm-hmm.
our to make a living. We try to do what we're supposed to do. Their goals become our goals and requirements to do. As your daughter, how
Yep.
our
Yep.
life comes into that, right?
I
So,
know.
and then when we look up, next thing and guys with a different, we're we're leaders. We want to always have that, when you're
Mm-hmm.
19, I'm going to be president of the United
Yep.
States, or I'm going to do this, or but life beats the crap out of you, both men
Yes.
and women. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. And so you look around and you're in your upper 50s and you're going, man, I have no dreams, no goals, what's left? And so
Yep.
I'm hoping that the story is, and it's growing. A lot more folks. I got some television stations I'll be working with that's wanting interviews and stuff. But
Good.
I just hope that we realize that, man, you're never really too old to live it. That don't mean you got to wrestle.
Yeah.
But if there's ever, maybe you love painting and for reasons you couldn't paint, or maybe, you like racing cars or whatever it is,
Just do
you're
it.
never too, just go for it, man.
Yeah. Do
That's
it.
what I've done here. I've given it my heart, my soul. And it scares me. I think about the last time when I do walk out of that curtain and I hear my song playing, and I just don't know if I can emotionally handle that. I tend to get upset quite a bit when I think about it. So
Aw.
I'm nowhere near I want to quit, because there's so much I want to accomplish.
I know, right? It's like I just turned 60 also, and I'm like, oh, Hannah's finally an adult. What am I going to do with myself?
What am I going to do now?
What were my dreams again?
Yeah.
What was I going to do with my life? But when I had my first daughter, I had that same epiphany. I didn't have, I graduated with no college expectations, no, nothing. My parents were like, well, we don't have money for college. Go get married, get a job,
Yeah.
and you just do whatever, right? And you just find yourself falling into this life instead of really planning out your dreams and goals, because you don't know how. No one's been, shared with you or taught you how to do that. That's why I'm always with my daughters, like, what does you want to do with your life? Let's put together a plan, let's don't miss it.
Yeah, you're going the other way with it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like you, my parents, I did not, before I went to Eastern Hills and during Eastern Hills, I guess too, I had a hard time getting started in high school. I kind of ran a wrong crowd, but that started because I was running in the bars at 7th and 8th grade on East Lancaster all the time. That's where I grew up.
Oh my gosh. Were you really? Well,
And
Eastern Hills was known for partying.
Yeah, but I was partying.
You were harder than some of the others.
I was not with the cool bunch. So,
oh my gosh.
Now when I went to school and got my life, started putting it together, that's when I started meeting some people, like Polly, the guy that really I give a credit for, that really helped me get out of an area and brought me to some friends that were in a different group, was Barry DePuma. God rest his soul.
Oh, I know. Barry was so amazing.
We worked at Walmart together, or at Kmart on East Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a lot.
I know. Hello. Did I lose you?
Said with a few people, you know how it was back in school, socials, the hippies, the cowboys,
had all the cliques.
Try to be friendly with everybody. That's just
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he brought me in with a clique that I've never been with before. So it was kind of interesting. But at the same time, hey, it worked out.
That's funny because he did the same thing to me, because I started at Eastern Hills in the middle of, or towards the end of 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first day I walked in, scared out of my mind. I had bought some bright yellow dress for my first day and these big old hooker looking shoes, platforms, and I'm clonking down the hallway, lost as lost can be. And here comes Barry DePuma. And he goes, "Are you the new girl?" I said, I'm thinking to myself, is that obvious? He's like, "Are you the new girl?" I was like, "Uh-huh." And he goes, "All right, you're going with me." And I'm like, "Are you?" So he's like taking me around, showing me everything. And he was like, "We're friends."
Because you were the new pretty girl.
Oh.
Yeah, you were the new pretty girl.
So if I'd been not as pretty.
Barry was pretty slick too. So
yeah. Well, he was a hottie. He was a nice, tall, handsome man. He was a good looking.
He was a good looking dude.
Yeah, he was. Oh, he was such a sweetheart. Yeah, I loved him too. So I kind of had that same thing, because he really did.
Well, when I was out of the bars and sleeping in the bars and sleeping in a car, or finding a place to sleep, or finding a place to eat.
Were you not at home?
It
wasn't a good place.
I'll tell you what happened. And so I'll never forget this. So when I was a freshman, because I graduated a year late, because I quit school for a while and everything, because I was really wild. So when I quit school, and I was a freshman and I was playing football.
Yeah.
And remember when the cheerleaders would come to decorate your house? So I always try to keep it secret where I lived, because I was very embarrassed at how I lived and where I lived at. And it was always pressure. Somebody's going to see my house. And so, because it was a shack, and I'll never forget the day that I came home, and there was some streamers thrown on the couch. And I said, "What's that?" She goes, "Oh, the cheerleaders came and decorated your room," which it was a couch in the living room, because that's all we had.
Yeah.
Man, the snickering I got the next day. Kids
People.
were mean back then. We were mean. A lot
Yeah.
of them.
Well, they still are today.
And I
So.
took a lot. And I think that's what drove me out of school. That's when I quit.
Well, funny thing is I remember you being around, we all kind of ran the same crowd.
We did when I
I
came back.
never heard a negative thing about you that I can recall. I mean, no, honestly, I don't remember, and of course my memory's not perfect either, but there are some people I can think back and go, yeah, I remember that person. How you stay away from that person, but I never, there was never anything like that with you that I can recall.
To get along with people,
Yeah.
and I became, and it's, I just always tried to, I never really shared a whole lot of that story, because it involved a lot of drugs, I could remember going to a beer joint and my uncles and my dad would be there. I may be 13. They'd be doing coke or whatever it was available. It was a big party.
Yeah.
And their big rush was to get me into a fight. And they said, we're going to get you in a fight with the biggest, toughest guy. They say, hey, this kid over here is going with your girlfriend. Of course, the big drunk goes, I want to fight. I'm a kid. So, there you go. So,
yeah. Well, Eastern Hills had that.
Attention.
Eastern Hills had that kind of reputation too, of being scrappers. I mean, you didn't mess with the guys from Eastern Hill. Yeah, you didn't mess with the guys from Eastern Hill.
School. Yeah. I kept it to the bar rooms and that stuff. I did not want people to know that part of my life until I got out of it and stuff. So yeah, it was a hard journey to get there, to a point to where people like you did remember me, because I did have to come back and I did graduate a year late. But
that's all right. Yeah, hey, you did it. That's all that matters. Who cares?
Well,
I graduated.
It was very hard growing up.
I had some similar things. My mom made like $1 an hour, and my dad, they divorced, and he was military all over the world, whatever, doing his thing. And it was me, my mom, my brother, and we didn't have anything. I remember wearing clothes with holes in them and getting picked on, and I remember some of the girls making fun of me. And I remember when I finally started working at McDonald's at 15 and I had to walk because we lived across the street from school, and I'd walk all the way to McDonald's and work until 2 and 3 in the morning. My mom was so lazy, she wouldn't even get off her butt to come pick me up, and I'd have to walk back in the dark.
Absolutely.
Wow. Once in a while, if Peggy or Cindy or somebody was out, they would swing by and get me, whatever, so I wouldn't have to walk home. But that's when I finally started getting some clothes, never knew. And then they made fun of me because, like, oh, look at you with your special clothes. You're all dressed up today. It's like you can't win. You wear something ratty and shabby, and it's, oh, look at the poor girl. Then you put on something nice and new, and it's like, oh, look at the snob. She thinks she's all better than us. It's like there was no winning anyway. And I got beat up in the parking lot a couple times, with some of these girls that they just decided they didn't like me. I'm like, I was. At least I remember being nice to everybody. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't. But, high school's terrible. It's terrible. But the thing is,
you mentioned Peggy, and I'll give you another. So Peggy's brother, Michael, he and I had the same. He has the same birthday as me, January the 6th.
Aww.
We were both born at 6 a.m. and we're both born at Harris Hospital. Yeah.
That is crazy.
And I grew up with him all through elementary school and Peggy. Now, I didn't know Peggy, but I knew Michael. We were real good friends. And
I love Peggy. She had my back all through high school. If it hadn't been for her, I'd probably been beat up more times. She'd get so mad if someone picked on me. She'd be in their face like, she's still that way. I stayed with her last year. Last year, I stayed with her. When we go into town, she lets us stay and camp out there. And I just love seeing her. She's just lights up my life.
We have a lot of awesome friends that we were blessed to have in our life, for sure.
Well, the funny thing is as crazy as high school was, those people are still true to your friendship,
Yeah. And, James Farley, which I knew James before elementary school. So no, they're all good. A lot of good people. A lot of people. Folks up there.
But I love the story that you had a dream and you went for it, because when I got my divorce the first time around, I had always dreamt of being an actress and a model and a dancer and a singer, and all that stuff. And I wanted to sing in a rock band, which I kind of did for a short time. But then my grades were falling. My mom told me I couldn't stay. And so Peggy sang on the thing, without me. But when that same thing happened to me, I told people I was going to start modeling and acting, and I was in my 20s. And people are like, you're too old. You're too old. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to do it anyway. And then when I said I was going to go to law school, go to college, people laughed at me and said, no, you're a bimbo blonde. You'll never make it. And then when I said I was going to be a lawyer, the same thing. So, I think it's great when people just kind of ignore the noise in their own head or the crazy people around them and just do what it is you want to do. Maybe you'll be great at it. Maybe you won't, but at least you can die knowing that you tried.
Exactly. And that's, you want to live life with no regrets.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's the main thing. It's the hard, and I think not doing this, I mean, trust me, it's beating the crud out of me, but man, if I did not do this and have this part of my life, I can't even remember my life not being a wrestler right now. It's just, I'm so involved in it and I'm having so much fun.
Okay. So the Iron Claw movie's coming out and I went on a date with one of them. So I remember I grew up too.
You on a date with?
Well, I was a big fan of Fritz von Erich back when I was a kid. My grandpa and I used to watch wrestling all the time on Saturday nights. And then, life happens, as we were saying. And then so it was Kevin and Carrie. Is that right? Kevin and Carrie?
David.
Yeah, but it was the two K ones, the two with the K.
Kevin and Carrie.
So I met one of them at a party. He asked me on a date. We talked to each other a few times. We set up a date. I got there and I see him and I wave and the two of them were together. And I started walking over there and I'm dyslexic. I can't remember if it was Carrie or Kevin. But one of them passed by me. He goes, I'm sorry, I can't stay. And he took off. That was supposed to be my date. The other one comes up and says, I'm so sorry. He had to go, family thing, something. Stay here with me. So I was like, okay. Because he was all big and hunky, I was like, all right, let's hang out. So we stayed, we danced, we partied.
Left and you went with Carrie. He's big.
I don't remember which.
Okay.
I think it's the one who died.
Okay, that's Carrie.
Okay. So, but anyway, it was kind of fun. I had a little date. He walked me to the car, gave me a little kissy night, kind of thing. But then we never did go out again. And then I found out that I think they were all like married and had girlfriends and like 10 kids or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. I see how these boys roll. I see.
Earlier this year, I wrestled in Dallas for a company called King of Sports. And one of my favorite companies in the world of wrestling. I was their heavyweight. I actually won the heavyweight title for them.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
And so it was a rematch. And so Carrie von Erich, his daughter, her name is Holly. Oh. And she's married, and she was a guest at the show, and we got to talking. I knew David, the older brother, the oldest. Well, David, who was the tall one, so the one that passed away first. So the promotion, they had her because I use the Iron Claw in my.
I saw, yes, I was watching one of your videos. You were going like this. I was like,
yeah. Hey. So it's one of the things I use. I use the Iron Claw as a tribute to the family. I love the family. Number one, the family.
I'd love to see them again.
And so it's a tribute to them. The yellow roses on my gear is a tribute to David von Erich. And the crosses that I put on my gear is prayer for their family. And for their family, for their contribution, and the sacrifice they made for it. So they're very special to me. But so Holly, which is Carrie von Erich's daughter, walked me to the ring. I was in the main event defending my title, and she walked me to the ring to Carrie von Erich's song coming out. Now, that was a big moment. I don't know if you'll ever. I mean, you're sitting there.
Oh my gosh!
To his song in Dallas, Texas. Defending a title. Yeah,
I mean that's got to be the apex of your dream right there.
It is. It's up there. It was a magical moment to say the least. And
wow.
It was. It was very, very, very. It was a moment that I'll never forget.
That's fantastic. I love this story. You're just so awesome. It's so good reconnecting. Yeah. And I also saw you had a little bit of an acting stint. You were in Pumpkinhead in Society, the horror stories. Were you in Pumpkinhead? No,
that wasn't me.
Okay, someone put it on like Wikipedia or something that you did some acting and were in some movies.
Well, they had some movies in Maypro I never got on.
Okay,
but there's a person that's in fact, they contacted me 2 months ago. They want me to start doing commercials. Now, I don't know nothing about that type of stuff. They said, no, man, you really would be, you're believable. You're a good old boy. You could probably sell, white gloves to ketchup dealer, and because I guess I just try to be honest and tell.
Yeah.
And so they've contacted me and said, but we'd like to clean you up a little bit. So they want to charge me like $500 some school to clean it up. And I don't know if I don't know, but that's, I don't think so much about acting or voice. Some folks think I got a way I talk is kind of unique or whatever, and with the story of the wrestling and all that stuff, they said, you do voiceover. So some people have asked me about that. It never was a dream, so I really haven't pursued it. I'm just so in on wrestling right now, and it's
well, that might be your next career. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know
Why
nothing
not?
about it.
Why not? Well, and they tell me the same thing. So I'm interviewing today Brian Bremer from the movie Pumpkinhead. So I was wondering if there was a correlation there. So Brian also has a company, and if you want information about him and his coaching for voiceover, he's amazing. He's a full-time working actor.
I'd be willing to look at it,
Yep.
Like I say, I know I can't wrestle forever. I'm having fun,
Right.
My favorite thing that I think I do that this is created, I like public speaking. And this is really, and some folks has asked me if I would speak at businesses, motivation speak. And I haven't thought about that. I like going to the schools. I talk to the kids. I go to maybe 12 to 15 schools a year.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
And I've got a program. We've always, and we grew up in this, when we talked about, just say no, we never gave them a reason to say no because it's so fun to say yes, right?
Right. So, there's nothing else to do.
Right. So I dig deeper into that whole scenario about peer pressure.
Yes.
How to deal with peer pressure of these kids. And I'll do role playing with them or whatever we do, depending on the class. But I speak to them about that, about peer pressure, not giving in, and you being the guy that can be positive, replace peer pressure with positive pressure. And how to, if a kid asks you to skip school or do something you're not comfortable doing, how do you change it to positive pressure and do the right thing? And it's about you can usually keep the kids, depending on their age, 30 to 45 minutes, attention span.
Well,
but people have heard that, and these kids get so motivated, and so you're rich kids like never seen nobody reach kid before. They're tuned in, and so this guy asked me, man, we got this big corporate get together, man. Will you give me an hour and talk about sales? But I didn't do it.
Well, let me know, because that's always stuff I like doing. I've talked to the students here at a couple schools too that I've volunteered to do and go in and talk to them, because they're like, can you just come tell how you became a lawyer? I'm like, what? Instead of just telling people how to become a lawyer, how about I tell every one of them how to have their dreams come true? So that's how I approached it.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we're all dreaming right now.
Exactly.
And they might not be able to relate to the dream that they're thinking they're relating to, but they're dreaming.
It's all your mindset and believing you can do it. And I keep my little sticker right here. It's right here on my thing. And it says, conceive it, speak it, believe it, receive it. And that's biblical right there. Biblical. That is biblical. So we're down to 1 minute.
Okay.
How can people find you?
Well, I just go to Facebook, HOSS Holding. Go to the one with the music video that's pinned to the top.
Okay.
There's two of them. There's one that does it, but the one that's got the music video, the HOSS Holding music video, go to that one.
Okay.
Go to my face, reach out. I get so many requests. If you ask for a fan request, by all means, please let me know that, hey, I'm a legit friend, because I get I've got so many. I don't know if they're. I don't understand all those bots and fakes and all that crud, So anyway, so that and follow my tour. I'll be touring all over the United States soon.
I can't wait. Let me know when you're in Indiana.
Okay,
I'll come see you. Let me know ahead of time, so I'm put it on the calendar, and I'll come. I'll bring my daughter,
and I'll keep you up to date with everything.
Yeah, maybe they need a sign girl. Can I come do the sign? Can I do a sign girl?
Want me to the ring? Come on.
I'll definitely do it. Can I wear like a sexy outfit?
Whatever you want to wear.
Oh, yes, we're in. All right. Contact me. We're doing this. All right. I loved it. God bless you. You're amazing, and you're doing great. And I'm so proud of you.
Stay in touch, please. And you're doing awesome too. I'm very proud of you as well. Your story's great. I love it.
Love you. See you later.
We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.